So today is the day that I take the GRE, and I just wanted to talk about my studying experience and any tips or advice I would give you guys. I did not study as much as I wanted to, and I was talking to my uncle about just feeling like I could have done more and that I should have done more to prepare, and he told me some things that were very encouraging. Basically he was telling me that you're always going to feel like you could have done more, but when you reflect on the days that you had where you didn't do as much as you wanted to, you have to remember the context of that day. So what were you going through emotionally? What else did you have on your plate? Ideally, yeah, you would have done more, but what was happening on those days that kind of contributed to you not doing what you wanted to? And when I think about it in that way, I feel like I'm able to give myself a little bit more grace, because I was intending on taking the GRE in May, and I was going to study for it while I was taking my biology class in the spring semester. But that biology class, I don't know, it was just very hard. It was very hard for me to manage biology, trying to study for the GRE, trying to review chemistry. All of that was just kind of overwhelming, and it was easier for me to attempt to start studying or even get started studying when I didn't have as much on my plate. So that being said, when the summer came and I wasn't in a class, I originally started to try to study for the GRE and for chemistry, and it wasn't going well. It just felt like a lot. I was very overwhelmed. I was trying to review chemistry, general chemistry 1, because I'm taking a general chemistry 2 class in the summer. My class actually starts tomorrow, but trying to do both of those things was just kind of overwhelming also. So then I was talking to my aunt and my uncle, and they convinced me to just focus on the GRE and handle chemistry when chemistry came, and that freed me a lot. It gave me I don't know, it put less pressure on me. And so when it came to studying for the GRE, even though I wasn't as consistent as I wanted to be, I still got in some good practice on some days. I didn't do nearly as much studying as I ideally would have, but it was also a lot of trial and error. So when I first started trying to study for the GRE, I took it upon myself to try to make practice questions for myself and practice those questions for each topic in the GRE book. And if you have, the Kaplan GRE book, that's the one I was using. But even though I got good review, it just took so much time, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to study every single thing that I need to in the right amount of time. So I stopped doing that, and then I was like, okay, how am I gonna go about trying to study these topics? And I finally found a process that worked for me. So what I would do is, for the chapters where I felt like I needed work, I would read through all the basics, all the stuff that it was teaching me in that chapter, and then at the end of the chapter in the Kaplan book, there's practice questions. So I would read, then do the practice questions, look at what I got wrong. Then I would go onto the Kaplan website. They have a platform where you can do more practice questions online. I would go on there. I would do the practice questions on there. You can make your own little quizzes and stuff. So I would do that. And I'm sorry, I just see a red bird, and I have this, wow, I have this thing with God. So it's just very encouraging. Wow, it's right in front of the door. It just feels like that's his way of telling me he's with me. God is so good, y'all. Even though I didn't do as well as I wanted to, I know that my life is in his hands, and even if things don't go the way I want them to, which I know they're gonna go great, but it's just very comforting to know he got me, you know what I mean? I still have to put work in, of course, but he got me. He's still here with me. I don't have to be perfect. He's here to just be with me, you know what I mean? Anyways, so I found that method that worked really well for me. It helped me get really good repetition. The only thing I struggled with was being consistent with that. So yeah, that's what we're working on still, consistency. Also, I recommend getting a whiteboard, because when I was using paper and trying to do chicken scratch all over the place solving the math questions, it was a little irritating, constantly having to flip over the paper and whatever. I used a whiteboard and a marker, and I just erased every time I needed to, and that worked so much better. It also made it more fun for me using a whiteboard. I don't know, maybe it just brought out the little kid in me to use the whiteboard, but that helped. So that's what I recommend. I think that way of studying is more efficient. The only thing I just needed was more consistency, more reps. Making Quizlets, I did that. I made maybe one Quizlet with a few like math facts for me to remember. And yeah, so I didn't review those as much as I wanted to. I downloaded a vocabulary app that had flashcards. That was helpful. I just didn't do it as much as I wanted to. A lot of your studying journey is really just showing up and being consistent and not putting pressure on yourself to have like a 2-3 hour study session. Just get something done. When I let go of the pressure to do like an hour or 2 hours of study time, and I just sat down and I did something, I felt so good because I got something done. So yeah, I recommend, before I did any of this, I took a practice test to see where I was. So take the practice test, try not to stress too much about your score. Just getting repetition with what the test is going to feel like can help you so much more. I found that with the practice test, because I've taken the GRE 2 times before, the old GRE. So I took it in 2020, twice in 2020, I think, and I did not do that well. I also hadn't studied or anything, but taking the test this time around, like the practice test, I'm able to finish the sections with plenty of time, because I think mostly because I'm trying to finish and get all the questions answered, because I don't want to lose points for not answering something. If you get a question wrong on the GRE, you don't lose points, but if you get it right, you gain points. So you can only gain points, you can't lose. So answer the questions, you know. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on trying to answer the questions, marking the questions that I know that, like, hey, I guessed on this, I need to go back. That way, if at the end of the section, if I have time left, I can just go back, see if I okay with the choice that I made, and then move on. But yeah, a lot of this is just trial and error. I have been telling myself, you know, I'm Jasmine, and I got a 158 verbal and quantitative and a 4 on my writing. Just trying to like speak positively over myself instead of trying to like worry about everything, you know. And even if I'm not gonna even say even if I don't, but like I just want to go into it with a positive mindset and a positive headspace, knowing like, hey, Jasmine, you did something, everything's gonna be okay. Yeah, it's life, it's not the end of the world, you're gonna be okay. So yes, I have my test at 12:30. It's 11:40. I'm gonna head upstairs at 11:50 because you're supposed to check in at 12, so I'm just gonna get there like 10 minutes ahead of time. They said I could have gone at 11, but I was like, I'm gonna go at 12:30. Like, I'm not gonna go early, I'm gonna just go when I'm supposed to. But yeah, I'll be back after the test. You can, the last time I took the GRE, they gave you your raw score after the test was done. So I'll come back after and I will talk about my raw score after the fact. The raw score is basically like your verbal and your quantitative, and then your official score includes like your writing score, because it has to be scored by a person and a computer program. So fingers crossed, prayers up. But I think everything's gonna go well, everything's gonna be fine. I am a little bit like, I don't know, like I guess I would say nervous, but I don't feel nerves. I'm just kind of like, let's see what happens, you know. So I'll be back. Okay, oh my goodness, there we go. I did the exact same on my verbal section as I did like the last couple of times that I took it 4 years ago, which was a 147. But I did way better on my verbal. I got a 156, and that's my raw score. I don't know what I got on the writing yet, and I don't know how to feel. I'm like happy about my verbal score, but I'm like indifferent, or I don't know if I'm disappointed in my math score. The second math section, I had to guess on like the last 4 questions. I feel like that's what really like did me in. Like I could have maybe gotten a higher score. I don't know. But I'm just kind of like, at this point, y'all gonna take whatever scores I send y'all because I'm so over it. Like, I might retake it just depending on like if there's any GRE score minimums that I have to meet. But if not, I'm gonna send my scores just to put my application in and then send updated scores. Like, I don't know what to do at this point. I'm just over it. I'm happy to be finished, but I'm probably gonna retake it. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm feeling just kind of like indifferent, like conflicted, like, yeah. So I'm gonna decompress on my way home and I'll come back in my next application update.